What's going on, everybody? Hello, Victoria.
Hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the Approach podcast. Again, Happy New Year. This is exciting. It's always exciting, especially I think in our line of work.
Yeah,
New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions, New Year's intentions, as we call them in the Approach. But it's a very exciting time for us because obviously we see an influx in people wanting to get healthy, but we're going to talk about us today. And
yeah.
we don't care about anybody else today, just us. No.
Imagine.
Um, so I saw you quickly jotting down some goals because as you know, we do everything off the cuff here, but I have already done, I made a whole list of my New Year's goals.
Great.
Um, I usually do it with Rachel. We actually usually do it with the whole family, but
Yeah.
everybody seems to be slacking a little bit, except for me. I did mine day one. I wanted to get I got some plans for this year. So,
Let's hear them.
oh,
Where
you
do you
want to hear
start?
mine
I
first?
want to hear yours first. Yeah.
Can we do
Well,
like maybe like a back and forth? Like I'll do
we
one and
will
you do one.
for sure. Definitely.
Um, so I like getting up early and starting my day off early, as you know. I've been a little inconsistent with it, meaning like I'll get up early, but maybe lay in bed and go on
Hmm.
social media, TikTok or whatever. So one of my goals is to be more consistent with when I wake up early. And I've been getting up at 4 a.m. I don't mind doing like a little bit of like kind of like catching up on social in the morning, but like 4:30, I'm out of bed now. I do my stretches, I put on my little spa music, and I do my journaling. And I'm just trying to get a lot more consistent with that. And my goal is to do that 5 days a week. So instead of being a little inconsistent, I'm a little more consistent.
Love that. I think
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I was hoping when you started to say about getting up in the morning, I was thinking, please don't say your resolution is to get up earlier because I would have to say
No,
no.
just do something in that earlier time. Like I'm up, but I want to like be a little more productive and not lay in
Yeah.
bed for, I don't want to look at my watch and like have an hour go by and be like, oh crap,
Yeah.
I just wasted an hour of my life on TikTok.
Yeah, I totally hear that. One of ours is so Adam's birthday was late November,
Hmm.
and my office space, which is at the bottom of our garden, has sort of been being transformed into various different things. And it's for his birthday, I surprised him by adding a gym section in there. So we got like a
Wow.
little weights bench and we've got a treadmill and very basic, but just, resistance bands and things like that. Just the basic stuff that we need because we are constantly, um, it's so hard to navigate finding the time for one to go to the gym, the other to go to the gym without, it just means we get less time together. Whereas
Sure.
having a gym space here means first thing in the morning, Isaac can sit with us. He can, be in there while we do it. And kind of as a family, we're committing to stretching and working out more together consistently, which is definitely going to be a huge help for Adam because he's a very kind of all or nothing person.
Uh-huh.
He's like, join the gym, I'm going every day. And he will. He'll be up at like 3 in the morning in the 24-hour gym for a month. And then he realizes he can't sustain it. And then,
Right.
so that's one of
Him,
ours is
him and 9 billion other people.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But that's one of ours is to work out together. Just three, we've said 3 times a week. We're just going to make sure that do together 3 times a week. We work out in our gym
I
space.
love that. I think that's great. And as you know, I mean, I train Rachel like three
Yeah,
mornings a week. And then yeah, we have a treadmill in our house. And so I love it. I think that's great. It's such a different experience working out together, or at least even
yeah,
being in the same house and working out, rather than going somewhere.
yeah. And I think the great thing about a treadmill for me is that I can be on a treadmill and still kind of half working. So it allows me to, I do a lot of sitting by a computer and my time to go out walking is with the dogs and I like to not take my phone and that's my like space outdoors.
Yeah.
Whereas on a treadmill in the day,
Your
if I
dogs
if I
have
just
2 inch
feel
legs, by the way. How far are they walking?
one of my dogs will walk for hours. Buddy, no one can ever believe it. They say, oh, you don't have to walk them that much. They're only tiny. Buddy will walk for hours, hours and hours. But yeah, with the treadmill, if I'm in the middle of the day and I'm starting to feel like, oh, I've been sitting down a lot, but I've still got so much to do, I can just go and walk on the treadmill and kind of keep brainstorming ideas of stuff that I need to do. And
Yeah.
yeah, so we're just trying to get more sort of active time in the gym, but together rather than separately. So yeah, that's one of
That's
ours.
I like that one. I'm gonna piggyback off that because one of mine is to actually go to a gym once a week. I do so
Yeah,
much stuff here at the house. I run, I do the tennis. I feel like I need to kind of get out a little more and
yeah,
change up my workouts a little bit. I did a hit class with a neighbor of mine like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I could do this once a week. And I just want to
yeah,
add that other element to my workout. So I'm just piggybacking off that
yeah.
one. You don't need to go again because I have another one, but
Oh,
that was
okay, you go.
that was another one of mine. Um, I don't want to sound like I don't know what the word is, but one of mine is to make Rachel's life easier.
Oh,
So I don't know what I don't want to sound like I don't know, I'm trying to outdo every other husband out there, but I think it's important. I think it makes life better, makes life easier if I can make her life easier, then she's happier, then we're all happier and
yeah,
with little things, with little,
yeah,
just kind of anticipatory type stuff.
yeah.
So
That's really interesting. Do you, because you know obviously about love languages and stuff like that.
yeah.
And so I give and
What is
receive love,
yours?
acts of service.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
with all my friendships, relationships,
Mhm.
everything, it's what can I do to anticipate making this person's life better through helping them in whatever way.
Mhm.
And that's absolutely always like my top one. And I think it's just such an underestimated way of looking after somebody and loving somebody and being there for them by just anticipating those little things that you can do
I think
that show
changing
them that
your
you're
your
there.
outlook on it, right? So like that's how I'm kind of approaching it. Like I could
Yeah,
go about it like, oh my gosh, like I have to do that. And I've used this term so often. I'm changing that mindset quite often in my life to I get to do that.
yeah,
Instead of I have to
yeah,
do that, or I get to do that. I get to wake up early and make her coffee. I get to,
yeah,
whatever it is, take out the trash before it's full, or
yeah.
um so I'm trying to change that mindset quite a bit.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that one. Another of mine, which is just a really tiny one, is I've got into a bad habit of when I go to bed, and this is probably particularly because of the time difference that we have often work wise. So if I head to bed at like 10 o'clock, my thing always used to be that I would read. I was very much like no phones once I was in bed. I will read in bed. When I start to feel tired, I'll just put my head down and go to sleep. And that has very much been replaced with being on my phone,
Yeah.
continuing to work or just checking in with stuff. And so that's going to be one of my new ones that once I actually go into the bedroom, it's like right, phone down on the other side of the room, and I take my book to bed, and then yeah, reading before
So
bed.
so as we were discussing how Rachel hasn't done hers yet and I had done mine, we were like, I was kind of like snooty with her last night about it. She said, I'm going to read in bed. And so that
Great.
that was that was the one thing she said about her New Year's resolutions with that because she reads, but again, we're on the phone and social media and whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um I am, when I'm looking at my list right here, wake up happy. Again, I'm so cheesy with these. I have some better ones, but wake up happy. I think so often, we wake up, we see something on our phone. The world is in chaos right now. There's wars going
Yeah.
on, and work life and all this stuff. I want to, and I'm just so bad with. I'm notoriously so bad with this and just letting the stupid stuff affect
Hmm.
us. I think, the last couple of days, Keanu Reeves has been popping up at like my feed a lot, and he is such like a
Yeah.
spiritual, like uh, warm-hearted being, who's got billions, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy wakes up happy every day for sure. I was like, I can wake up happy. And so I'm gonna
Yeah.
let that he had a, not to get off track, but he was talking about
Yeah.
how if someone doesn't like you or if someone is negative towards you, he's like, there's 799 billion other people in this world. You now have to deal with one less person. Like that's a positive,
Yeah.
so it's just
100%.
one of those things, how you approach these
Yeah.
these things that are perceived as negative.
Yeah, he must be a popular person this time of year because he's been popping up all over my feed as well,
Oh, is that
everywhere.
right?
Yeah, just like pictures of him walking around in very, very normal clothing, hood up,
Yeah.
just going about his daily life. And yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
He still takes like the subway like as normal
Yeah,
people and yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I've heard some lovely things about him. Really, really lovely. Another one of mine, and this is a bit of a girly one, but I was reflecting by looking back through sort of pictures throughout last year. And when I'm in at home mum mode, I don't really like get dressed up or like
mhm,
care about my hair or put on any makeup or anything. And I'm very happy like that. I am like I've always been very comfortable in my own skin in that sense. But then when I see a picture of myself when I'm on holiday or I'm out of mum mode and we're just kind of on a date night or a little breakaway, I'm like, oh wow, I look
mhm.
okay. Like I didn't realize there was such a difference between how I am day to day and when I actually make an effort. And I want to just start that little bit of extra because if I'm going on holiday, I'll be like, right, I need nails done and I need this and
Yeah.
and I know they're all very superficial things. Um, but they make me feel better about
I
myself.
actually disagree with the superficial stuff. I think that is super important. I really
Yeah.
do. I don't want to take away from that, but like I got dressed the other day, put on my shoes, and as you can see,
Yeah.
I'm dressed right now because I think that starts your day off right.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like if you kind of and this has nothing to do with you, but if I stay
Yeah.
like frumpy, like I feel, sort of frumpy.
Yeah.
You don't, I do. Like you feel good. I don't know. I want to like I even put on cologne if I'm not going anywhere. Like I like
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
So I like that one. I think that's an
Yeah.
important one.
That is one thing. I always wear perfume every day, like
Yeah.
always. Like no makeup today, but perfume is on.
Uh,
Like,
uh, yeah.
and
I was
I
gonna say a
just,
funny story, because this just happened, and again, I don't want to take away, but the 2 days ago, Rachel got all dressed up, kind of like that, nothing really to do, but she got
yeah,
dressed up. Maybe she was doing TikToks or whatever, and then the following day, she wasn't feeling that good. I think that time of the month or whatever, and I said something just to be funny and kind of jerky. I was like, "What a difference a day makes," I said it. It was just, and it was really funny. She knew it, so it wasn't. I wasn't kind of
yeah,
picking on her, but she knew it. But again, going back to what you said, kind of just getting
yeah.
ready for the day. I like that one.
Because I think it makes, like, as I said, I'm very happy in my own skin,
Hmm.
but it does make me feel better when I make more of an effort. And so I think, yeah, so that's going to be one of my things, just making sure that every week there's at least one thing of self care, whether it's a facial or
Yeah.
a manicure or pedicure or whatever, just one thing every week, just to a little bit of me time to make me
I
feel
think
a bit
what's
better.
important about that is kind of planning that stuff rather than just saying that,
Yeah.
planning,
It's just
planning.
acts of service from Adam. He's just returned home with a coffee for me.
There you
See,
go.
that's
Does
what
he
we
even know what we're
need.
talking about? There you go. I love
No,
it.
no. Still exclusive for the
Look at
podcast. Yeah.
that. Look at that. See, well, I'm waiting to say what you put that out there in the universe right now, and look what happened. You
Yeah,
see?
exactly. Exactly.
Very cool. Um, I want to sign up for another ultra marathon. So I did
Wow.
one the last summer. I didn't do one this summer, so it's
Okay.
time for me to sign up for another one. Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Do you know which one? Have you got any
The
idea?
big one I want to do is in South Africa. We've had a lot of craziness with the approach this year, so it's not in the cards. It wasn't in the cards this year, but hopefully next year or next summer.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe that one in South Africa or another big one. I know there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to do like that one is a 50 miler.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, the last one I did was 35 miles. So
Okay.
in the mountains of
Wow.
California. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So stay
crazy.
tuned for that. And it's one of those
Yeah.
things. Once you sign up, then you start training, right? You don't train
Yeah.
until you sign up.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have any remaining resolutions. A lot of mine are really just kind of not specific to this year. It's just things that I felt I did achieve last year. Things like I felt like I really got good time with Isaac. I was a really good mum last year, and I feel really
Good for
confident to
you.
say that I'd
Yeah.
like did a good job last year. And I know that bringing up children, sometimes you're like, I am failing. This is a lot. Like you have those
Not that you're,
moments, but
no, you're never failing. You're just doing the best you can.
yeah. But you have those moments of self-doubt and everything. And I just felt like towards the end of last year that I was like, no, we're in a really good groove with this. And I want to continue like listening to him as a human being and parenting him as an individual and always questioning my decisions as to whether it's right or wrong or
There's
and
no
just kind
such
of being
thing.
open um to kind of how I parent him. So a lot of it gratitude and all of that are sort of
Yeah.
things that I feel I really did well last year, and continuing to make sure that I'm strict with my timings and have that good work-life balance.
Well, I know
Um,
we did like an end of the year stuff in like in the approach with all the staff. And I know that was one of your
yeah,
things, but I think is super important.
yeah,
Just having that kind of cutoff.
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
think it's important.
It's
I think
it's
you're a better worker when you get the time off. Like it's
or at least knowing that you can have the time off for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, just having like I listened to a lot of Simon Sinek. Do you know who that is? Simon Sinek.
no,
He's a motivational speaker. I have a couple of his book is Start with Why. Uh,
okay,
and so he talks a lot about that stuff. Like I was just listening to him talk about how a kind of he called it a duvet day. So instead of like a sick day, he's like, you don't need to
right,
be sick to call into work. Like you could
yeah,
take a day for no reason. Like it's okay. Like we
yeah,
have
yeah,
this
yeah,
stigma of like, people faking, I can't come into work
yeah,
today. He's like, just tell me, hey, I don't want to come into work today. Cool. Like it's all good. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we have a little too much going on right now for that, but still.
I was gonna say, yeah, don't
Um,
do that to me
the
now.
concept is great. The concept is great.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, a lot of my other goals are obviously work related. Those are some of my personal ones, but some work related. We've done so well with the approach. We've helped what 11,000 people
oh
this
my goodness,
past year.
so
Um,
many people, so
and
many.
so yeah, I always want to expand on that. I love keeping in touch with all the members that have had success in the program.
Yeah,
I love, I got messages, hey, I'm coming to Florida, like, can we have lunch? I'm like, for sure, like let's have
yeah,
lunch. And so like I love that connection. No matter how big we grow, I want to continue with that, still that one-on-one connection.
yeah,
People are blown away. Like I'm on TikTok. I'm like, oh, like Lisa, you lost 60 pounds. Or like, how do you know that? I'm like,
yeah,
I don't miss a beat. We've helped so many people and I try and remember everybody's
yeah.
success.
And I've already seen so many people coming back. Like already, it's only the 4th of January, and we had messages every day. Hey, I did your program last year. I'm coming back. I'm coming
Yeah.
back. I'm getting signed up again.
Yeah.
And I just love that, I love that start of year energy that people have when,
Yeah.
they know they had some success last year and then maybe something came up in their life, which happens. And now they're ready to come back and have all of the extra support that's been added since they were part of the program last time. And
It's
yeah,
a
it's just such,
family, right? They're coming back to the family.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
It's pretty neat. Well, that was a lot. That was a lot of a lot to soak
It's
up.
weird talking about ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's all good. I mean, I think you have the same feeling as me. I mean, 2024 is just going to be an amazing year. We've been hyping it up, I think, intentionally because it's just, how we feel and what's going on. We have
yeah,
this simmer going on beneath us, I think that's been really amazing. I know it's kind of cheesy and stuff like that, but that's how I feel. I think it's a lot of good stuff going on. And again, we've had our
yeah,
challenges with the program and the app and stuff like that, but it's all good stuff. Only positive
yeah.
vibes.
I think you're right to feel like that. It is a really, really exciting time, and kind of knowing all the plans for this year already, and there are still more plans to come. It's
Yeah.
yeah, really exciting.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the Approach podcast. We hope that you maybe get inspired by this. If you haven't If you're like Rachel and haven't created your New Year's resolutions yet, one quick tip is not just write them down, but create the actions around how you're going to accomplish some of these things. I think that's super important too, because we just
Yeah.
put like a one line thing, like I want to eat better, and that doesn't really necessarily do the job. Maybe put some actions in place on how you're going to make that happen. So, but thank you very much, Victoria. Thank you for your time. And I love all the resolutions this year.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if people are struggling to know how to set them, we have a blog on our website at jointheapproach.com about how to set resolutions and how to get back on track if you fall off, and the steps that you need to make sure that you're setting resolutions that you can really keep. So go and check that out.
Very cool. What is it? It's jointheapproach.com/blog, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, or they can find it from the homepage. Blogs is up at the top.
And if you guys want any more information about the program and get started and join the Approach family, you just have to go to the App Store or the Play Store and type in the Approach and you will get set up.
Yeah. We will
Awesome.
see you there.
All right. Thank you guys. Take care.